Hello everyone, welcome to the U.S. Update Immigration. As we close out this year, many immigrants, families, workers and students are already turning their eyes toward what 2026 might bring. There is a mix of hope, fear, uncertainty and determination flowing through immigrant communities right now. Some people are waiting for their long-delayed green cards, some are stuck in administrative processing at embassies abroad, others are navigating new rules under the Trump administration, and many more are living through the daily worry of deportation pressures. And with every new policy shift coming out of Washington, families are trying to understand what realistically lies ahead. In this video, we'll walk through what to expect in U.S. immigration in 2026, from green card movement, visa changes, enforcement trends, approvals and denials, and the possibility of new reforms that may reshape the system next year. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you can get updates straight to your smartphone. Now, let's get into the video. As 2026 approaches, one of the most important questions people are asking is what the Trump administration intends to do with the immigration system over the next year. This administration has spent much of 2025 introducing stricter rules, tightening financial requirements for sponsors, increasing security checks, and expanding deportation operations. These shifts have already slowed down processing timelines across many immigration categories, but insiders in Washington say that 2026 may bring even more structural changes, possibly affecting how quickly USCIS moves I-130 family petitions, how the NVC schedules immigrant visa interviews, and how embassies handle background reviews. Many immigration attorneys believe that the Trump administration will continue pressing agencies to reduce what it sees as vulnerabilities in the system. That could mean tougher review standards for marriage-based green cards, more scrutiny for employment-based petitions, and stronger enforcement around visa overstays. Several internal memos already introduced in late 2025 suggest that additional rules are being drafted, especially around sponsor income requirements, background checks, and discretionary interview authority. These changes are expected to roll out gradually in 2026, meaning applicants should prepare for longer document verification and higher evidence expectations. On the green card front, families are hoping 2026 brings more stability. Throughout 2025, the visa bulletin has been unpredictable at times, holding steady in some categories while barely moving in others. Family preference categories like F2A, F3, and F4 saw limited forward movement this year. But some immigration analysts predict that 2026 could bring slightly better progression due to demand leveling off and improved internal coordination between USCIS and the Department of State. Although no major jump is guaranteed, applicants who have been waiting for years may finally see more meaningful updates as the agencies settle into new workflows for immediate relatives, including spouses, parents, and minor children of U.S. citizens. The hope is that processing timelines will stabilize. In 2025, I-130 approvals saw uneven movement, with some service centers pushing cases faster and others slowing down significantly due to workload distribution changes. If USCIS completes its ongoing automation upgrades, 2026 could bring more predictable timelines. Attorneys believe that improved system integration may reduce the long gaps where cases sit untouched in actively reviewed status for months. Employment-based green card applicants are also watching 2026 carefully. The EB2 and EB3 categories have remained heavily used throughout 2025, but additional visa numbers becoming available next fiscal year may help relieve some of the pressure. However, with the Trump administration focusing more on skill-based filtering, there may also be new checks applied to certain employment categories, especially those involving employers with compliance concerns or industries with high fraud risk. This could mean more RFEs and slower adjudications, even with more visa numbers available. Visa processing at the NVC is another area people are anxious about. The NVC went through multiple waves of delays earlier this year, particularly in document review and case qualification, but recent improvements in late 2025 have raised some hope. If the NVC maintains its improved performance into 2026, families might see a more balanced flow of document review and interview scheduling. This is especially important because embassies around the world are preparing for another busy year. Consulates in Manila, Mumbai, Ciudad Juarez, Montreal, Islamabad, and Abu Dhabi All major hubs for immigrant visas are expected to increase appointment capacity next year based on early staffing data. But with this potential growth in interview availability comes a new challenge: stricter background and relationship verification. Many consulates tightened their review standards throughout 2025, leading to increased administrative processing and longer review times after interviews. If the Trump administration advises embassies to continue this trend in 2026, applicants may need to prepare for more questioning, updated evidence, and additional processing before receiving a final visa decision. This has been especially common in marriage-based immigrant visas, fiancé or fiancée visas, and family preference categories involving adult children. One of the biggest concerns for 2026 is deportation enforcement. Over the past year, ICE and DHS have expanded removal operations targeting visa overstays, individuals with denied applications, and those with pending petitions who fall out of status. If this trend continues next year, many immigrants may feel increased pressure to stay current with their filings, maintain proper status, and respond quickly to USCIS notices. Immigration lawyers expect enforcement operations to pick up even more aggressively in certain regions during 2026. Approvals and denials will also continue to reflect the administration's priorities. In late 2025, USCIS adopted new internal guidelines that allow officers to deny petitions more quickly when key evidence is missing. This hard-stop denial trend is expected to continue into 2026, meaning applicants must be extremely careful with documentation, translations, affidavits, tax records, and supporting evidence. At the same time, USCIS officers have been instructed to increase the number of interviews in some categories, which could cause slower timelines but more face-to-face verification. On the reform front, there are a few possibilities. Some members of Congress have hinted that they may push for targeted updates to the immigration system in early 2026, though broad reform remains unlikely. The Supreme Court, which agreed to fast-track a major immigration case recently, may issue a ruling next year that changes how quickly family-based petitions must be processed or limits how long agencies can delay interviews. This ruling could create long-term improvements for families waiting abroad, especially those stuck in multi-year backlogs. Beyond policy, 2026 will also reflect the system's technological evolution. USCIS is investing heavily in automation and digital adjudication systems. If these upgrades succeed, the agency may be able to reduce some of the manual processing delays that plagued 2025. Online case systems could become more stable, faster, and more reliable, something that applicants have been asking for since the early pandemic years. As we look ahead, it's important for families and applicants to stay realistic but hopeful. Immigration in 2026 will not be simple, and the Trump administration's continued focus on enforcement and stricter standards will create new challenges. But there will also be opportunities. Some categories may finally move after long stagnation. Some interview delays may clear. Some families may finally reunite after years apart. And some applicants waiting on approvals may finally receive the news they've been hoping for. As the new year approaches, staying updated, staying prepared, and staying informed will be the most important steps every applicant can take. Immigration continues to be one of the most dynamic and emotionally charged areas of federal policy, and 2026 will be no different. But with awareness and preparation, families can navigate these changes with greater confidence. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Update Immigration Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Update Immigration Channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.